Thank you so much, Keith, for the kind introduction. Yes, I am Jessie Draper. I am founding partner of Halogen Ventures. We invest in female-founded consumer technologies. We're a newer fund, and it's going great. So this is my third year hosting Moneyball, and thank you to Jamie for having me. First, I want to say thank you to Jamie for he is so supportive of female entrepreneurs. He threw this great event last night, and I just want to mention that because it is International Women's Day today. And if you missed the Female Founder event last night, I mean, Cindy Crawford was there. Why did you miss it? Like, it was incredible. So, you know, every year, Jamie usually, now that I've said my thank yous to Jamie, he usually emails me a couple weeks before, says, hey, do you want to MC this event, Moneyball? It'll be fun. Like, your dad will be on the panel. You can, like, keep him under control. And this year, and then they send me a script, and I do the whole thing. This year, he emailed me maybe a week before, and I have yet to receive the script. So I've written my own, and I've decided, since it's International Women's Day, I'm a woman. I know what women like. I know what we eat. I know how we like to do our hair, what we like to wear, and I know that we like The Bachelor on ABC. So I've decided that tonight is going to be Moneyball The Bachelor edition. There will be a rose ceremony. And the founder-investor relationship is kind of like a marriage. It's actually closer than a marriage. You cannot get divorced. So, with that, I would like to bring up our judges. Come on up.
Bring them out, bring them out, bring them out. It's hard to yell when the barrel's in your mouth. Come on. Bring them out, bring them out. Hey. Bring them out, bring them out. Bring them out, bring them out.
So, really, this is an incredible panel. We're so lucky to have them all here this evening, and so are these amazing entrepreneurs.
You don't get the rose.
Oh, no. The rose ceremony is at the end. Clearly, he's not familiar. Okay. Amy, see, under control. Got him under, he's under control. Okay, so our first judge on the panel is Sheila Gulati from Tola Capital.
Thank you.
Our resident software guru, and don't be intimidated by her ex, Microsoft. They're so friendly. Things that get her excited: the cloud, artificial intelligence, and machine learning. Ooh. Tim Draper from Draper Associates, DFJ, and his school, Draper University. This is a guy with big ideas who recently lost 30 pounds on the Whole30 diet, doesn't he?
Wow. Well done.
And is about to try to bring California into 6 states again. He might buy you dinner with Bitcoin, and if you have a flying car, he's in. Drew Oetting from 8VC is here. I know. Don't get your panties in a bunch. Gorgeous. He's a Forbes 30 under 30 VC, and his fund, he's 26, by the way, and his fund is in the 100 millions. An a cappella singing golf star. This guy is seriously eligible. Up next, we have General David H. Petraeus.
Oh, man.
A very active venture capitalist, current active venture capitalist. If you're more into the incognito type, you should check out this decorated former head of the CIA, who's a judge today and also a Judge Whitney professor at USC. He's currently chairman of the KKR Global Institute. Ooh, a professor, judge, and a chairman. Hey, are you ready to witness what happens behind the scenes as 3 companies vie to win the hearts of 4 expert venture investors that are open to love? The rules: each CEO will present their celebrity crush, a 5-minute pitch, and the judges will have 5 minutes to ask all of their questions. The Moneyball Bachelor judges will have the discretion to award the winning company an investment of $100,000. On the spot. I know, where was the excitement about that? That's Investment will also be open to qualified audience members who may invest in the winning company under the same terms as the judges, with a minimum investment of $5,000 and up to a total investment of $1 million. For more information or to register your interest in investing in any of the participating companies, please email moneyball@montgomerysummit.com. Okay, up first, we have Ambika Singh, founder of Seattle-based company Armoire. Come on up. Who is your celebrity crush?
So who's my celebrity crush?
Yes.
I'm going to prove right now why on International Women's Day, why women are smarter than men. Obviously, my celebrity crush is you.
Oh. Well, all the judges are a little disappointed.
Yeah.
I mean, you could have gone with a general here.
Am I going to follow up, or am I just like digging down the hole?
And do we have 5 minutes on the clock? No, the celebrity crush does not count as the 5 minutes. Okay. And go.
Okay. The average American woman will spend 219 hours shopping this year. That's a staggering number, especially for someone like me who frankly hates shopping. It's the decision process that really gets to me. As a smart woman, I like making smart decisions. This one is just the same as every other one. Is it quality? Does it really fit? Is the ROI pretty good? But the question that really gets me is, do I actually want to own this? Because I know that the average American sends 82 pounds of clothing to the landfill every year. And knowing this, inevitably, I end up standing in front of a really packed closet thinking, oh, I wish I had something fresh to wear. Enter Armoire. Armoire is a wardrobe as a service for today's boss lady. What that means is that our customers log into a virtual closet. She's presented with just 10 to 15 things that have been curated just for her, according to her style and fit preferences. From these, she picks 4. We mail them to her, she wears them as long as she wants, and then she sends them back to us, and the cycle repeats. The inventory is high-end, retails for about $250, and she pays us $149 a month. Pretty good ROI. To some of you in this audience, you might be thinking, geez, this sounds like magic. Well, it's not magic, but we did develop some pretty cool technology at MIT, which allows us to make this happen. So machine learning, everybody's got it. What does it really mean? Let me break it down for you a little bit. In our business, what machine learning means is that I have a group of friends, of which a few have very similar size and fit preferences to me. I could likely grab something out of their closet, put it on, and it would fit me pretty well. The logic behind this is the basis for how we're writing our collaborative filter. At the same time, I know that V-necks look great on me. Fit and flare is not my thing, but a black sheath dress, this is working. This attribute level preferences is what allows us to build a content filter that really works. Algorithms, marketing, operations, we knew we were gonna have to build the dream team to bring this company to life. And I'm pretty excited to announce that we developed that team. Technology and analytics talent, homegrown at MIT, and refined at industry-leading companies. Marketing, operations, fashion, from storied startups and industry leaders. And a team of advisors ranging from MIT professors to CEOs of fashion companies to tastemakers and influencers. And what's better is that team has developed some real traction. Since our inception in June, we've maintained 30% consistent month-on-month growth. We've maintained a 39% gross margin, even at our small stage while we're bootstrapping. We're at 13K MRR. 38% of our customers are on prepay, which means they're really seeing value in the product. And by the end of this year, we'll be at $2 million in forward-looking ARR. Now, some of these things in a savvy room like this, you might be thinking I've heard them before. Rental, clothes in a box. What are you guys doing that's really different, Armoire? Two things. One, we're a technology company applying what we know to fashion, not the other way around. So when we say we're learning both at the macro level and we're learning at the individual level, which is what allows our business to have a moat that you can't come into. And we see this in the customer data. After the third month, we see virtually no churn because we've gotten so good at putting something in the box that you like that why would you erase your entire Spotify account and go somewhere else and start over? Doesn't make sense. The other thing that's perhaps even more important is that, like many, and some of you guys are here, I know Casper's here, we are creating a brand that people love. Our customer has been largely ignored by the fashion industry. They've focused on the 20-something who appears to work out twice a day, has not yet seen a nursing bra. Our customer, by contrast, is the boss lady. She's incredibly successful at what she does, and her wardrobe is a reflection of that success. It's not an enablement, and it's certainly not aspirational.
You have 30 seconds.
This brand is incredibly important to us, and we will develop it over time, and it will breed the kind of loyalty that our customers have for us already. But don't take my word for it. Check us out on social media. Read the comments. See what our customers are saying about why this brand and this ethos means so much to them. And I am lucky that today is the day because I know you guys have been seeing it on social media. This brand is missing in the marketplace, and we are the ones that are going to return on it. Armoire is on a rocket ship, and I'd love to have you with us. Thank you.
Isn't Armoire another name for a bathroom?
It's a closet.
It's a water closet.
What, sorry?
Okay, anyway,
No,
good name.
It's a wardrobe.
It sticks. My question, am I allowed to ask questions?
Yeah, you have 5 minutes.
My question is, your churn, it says 11% churn.
Yeah.
If somebody buys or rents something
Sure.
and then sends it back, that's not churn.
That's not
It's
churn.
when they come 1 month and then they don't come back the next month?
Exactly.
That's how you
Yeah.
measure churn?
And that 11% is actually a blended churn rate. So we see much higher churn in the first month, which is why I was saying after month 3, it's relatively negligible. So we anticipate that we'll actually see that go down to some extent as we learn to target better. Because the reason customers churn is there is a group that says, you know what, actually, I love to own my clothes, and I miss hunting and gathering through the mall and through the internet to find that perfect piece. That woman's not our customer.
Because that was great. And of course, MIT is awesome. As you well know, Harvard was created because everybody can't get into MIT.
That was really good. I've never heard that, actually.
You know the saying, if you want to be a billionaire, make something that 1 billion people want to buy. And I sort of wonder if this is it. This is a terrific presentation. I mean, it really was hugely polished and professional. But is this it? Isn't it a crowded area? You have Stitch Fix, we have a daughter, you know, Thread Lab, Trunk Club. How do you differentiate yourself?
Rent the Runway.
And Runway. So what makes this better? What makes this appeal to enough people, ladies? And by the way, when's the men's version coming? But so how about that? Can you scale this?
Yes. So in retail today, there's thousands, tens of thousands of brands and retailers and people all across the value chain. The disruptive bet that we're making is that a large percentage of the market and a large percentage of those closets will turn into rental closets. So if you go on that journey with us, having 3 or 4 rental companies in the space doesn't look very crowded. So essentially that's why it's so important for us to create a brand that differentiates us, because eventually there will be so many rental companies that it'll be just another distribution channel. So it's sort of like saying, is there room for Neiman Marcus and Nordstrom's and Barney's? That's where we see our customer kind of looking at us at.
But what's differentiated in what you're doing to create that brand?
What's differentiated is the ethos that I talked about. So we're looking at a sorely underserved segment. She's got a lot of buying power. In fact, she holds the purse strings, as some of you who are married might know. She holds the purse strings in the household. And yet, fashion's not, delivering to her with the things that really she needs. And particularly these young mothers in our segment group, and that's kind of the core of the segment, they're looking for efficiency. And so when you design a rental product, like some of our competitors, that forces her to search and find something that she's gonna wear once or twice, invest hours, it doesn't make sense. So we've rethought the experience in a way that's directly targeted at her.
What is the primary channel right now you communicate with your customers over, and that you acquire them over?
So the primary channel that we communicate is through email. We would like to see that go, and we're testing this right now, to see it go to text. We've tested chat, and that seems less appropriate because she's doing most of this at work, but text we think will work really well. How do we acquire her? So actually this milestone that we're racing against is all about customer acquisition. We've grown this business now essentially on completely word of mouth and a little bit of referral. What we'll test in the coming 9 months are digital across channels, more investment in email, in-person events, which with a lot of our competitors has been very successful, especially when you're selling an experience good like this. So we'll do things like go into a workplace and talk about how this might make your Mondays easier as a consultant or as a surgeon, et cetera, and as well as doing things where the motivated customers bring in their circles.
So are you doing anything to financially motivate customers to become the sales force for you? Are you doing like a Avon lady or a...
Yeah, no, great question. Right now, we're doing just a basic referral. You get a kickback, and the referee gets a kickback. What we're structuring is something for those parties where they get either a share of revenue or something with a larger kickback, so they're really motivated. The other thing, though, that we're testing in parallel is that we're setting up a partnership with Girls Who Code, because one of the things about this target segment is that kicking $25 back to her may not be attractive enough for her to push something onto her network, but kicking back something to an organization that is reflective of her values is very motivating.
Doesn't she want to, have you thought in terms of eventually women are going to have one thing in their closet and the rest of it's all gone, and then they'll just everything will be virtual? And if that's the case, what are you doing with the existing closet that's got all that, how many, 82 pounds of landfill per
annually
year?
Yeah.
What are you doing with that? And are women really going to ever get rid of that? Or do they feel like that's their store, of their treasure chest?
So I'll give you 2 anecdotes.
I'm not sure he understood the business.
What's that?
I'm trying to understand the consumer, and I've been trying to understand women for many, many years. I'm sorry, it's been baffling, but at this point I'm trying to understand the consumer. Because
this is a thinly veiled attempt to understand women, right?
So from customers, we see 2 requests fairly frequently. One is, this is great, I now have 4 things that hang on my closet and I just pick one of the 4. I don't even look at the rest of my closet because this stuff is fresh, and when I'm done with it, I'm gonna send it back. So that's actually on one of my slides. I talk about how you reduce the friction, and the mental friction in the morning. So that's one piece. She's pretty happy to have reduced choice. This is reflected when we did a survey. We asked people what their favorite closet experience was. And many people talked about the travel closet. You get to the hotel and you unpack the 3 things you brought, and it's awesome because you only have 3 things and you just wear them and you leave. So this like mental kind of angst is something that we're reducing. The second part is, yes, people ask us all the time, can you please come to my closet and clean it out? So this isn't a service that we provide today, but here again, I think this is a place we can be reflective of our values and donate, because most of those clothes, 20% of the stuff that goes to the landfill has tags on it. So we have to figure out what the right cleaning out is that is reflective of our values, so something like Dress for Success, etc.
What's been the biggest mistake you've made so far?
Oh, that's a good geez, like so many. How do I pick the biggest one? So I think this is an interesting question, and I could argue it from both sides. So I don't know if it's a mistake or not. We deliberately, on the first day that we started this company, we shipped a box out to somebody. Like we didn't have, we put the pictures in Google Forum. We didn't even own the inventory. We put the pictures in from like places that we knew drop shipped. So we literally built this company on no technology. And for a technology company, that's absolutely backwards. What we did was we validated demand. And it was against our DNA because we are technologists. So that has been a constant sort of like battle, that the technology is not perfect. We're building it in stride to make sure that we can keep up with the demand that we have. So it may be a mistake, but the thing that I do know is that people want this business, and if we would have done it in reverse, I may have built some beautiful piece of technology that nobody really wanted. So very un-MIT, they did not like that we did it.
And the clothes are used, right? They go through and they're used. Is there any stigma to like some woman who didn't take a shower and then maybe it?
Well, we dry clean everything.
Yeah, but then there's a button missing, or there's something.
What are you talking about?
I don't think this is a thing. This isn't a thing.
That's not a thing.
Not a thing.
Okay, I got it.
This guy?
Women are I wouldn't wear his clothes.
This is actually the answer why we started.
Thank God.
Most women have shared clothes with somebody. It's an ancient practice, right? Like I borrow clothes from my mom, I share clothes with my sister. So there is a culture of sharing clothes that made it easier for us to start with women than it did for men. Maybe eventually you will be wearing this shirt.
Okay, does anyone else have a last question?
I got another question.
No. We're done. Okay, moving on.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
She's cute. She's great. She's great.
Yeah.
Right now. Okay.
Wow, really?
Up next, we have a Tiff Siddiqui from Branch Messenger. He will be sharing his
Tough
celebrity
business,
crush
but
and then
he's a
his
girl.
5-minute pitch.
But that'll be fun.
Yeah, maybe.
Celebrity crush, Mila Kunis.
Mila Kunis.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
All right. Hi, my name is Atif. I am the founder and CEO of Branch Messenger, and I have some bad news. It is 2017, and this is still the way most workers here in the U.S. communicate. No joke. Sure, sometimes they might have a random free messaging app or an ad hoc Facebook group, but this bulletin board back here is how they communicate at work. We're solving that. Let me show you how. We have created a communication platform so that anyone in the organization can reach the frontline shift worker in a familiar social thread. Like Slack, there are communication channels that also hold information like new employee onboarding. But where Slack is solving for the use cases of the office-based knowledge worker, we have optimized for the mobile shift worker. And some of those optimizations include chatbots that allow them to answer any frequently asked questions in a familiar chat format. Now, we've also put workflows around some of those use cases for shift workers, like coordinating last-minute shift coverage. So now a manager can simply broadcast a shift and fill it on demand with partial coverage. Employees piece together the times that they can work, and managers approve, in just one tap. We've even provided a modern mobile layer to that piece of paper schedule in the back office. So now an employee simply snaps a photo of that schedule, and all the shifts are digitally imported into the app. So now employees can see the times that they work and receive alerts for upcoming shifts. Now, Branch is a communication platform that is built on top of existing enterprise systems, so there is no switching costs. We've even built integrations with leading labor management solutions like Kronos and IEX to make it really easy for the enterprise to adopt. Now, we are solving a big problem in a large, growing global market. We're focused on retail, restaurant, and hospitality companies and their workers for 2 reasons. One, they're used to using social tools in their personal lives, but lack those tools in the workplace. And 2, they drive organic adoption. Let me show you what that looks like. So a worker at Domino's Pizza downloaded Branch in early July. In just 24 hours, their entire workplace of 40 employees joined the app. Since then, Branch was talked about on Facebook and Instagram, and it spread to 300 Domino's Pizza locations within the week. Now get this, in just 4 weeks, 20% of all Domino's pizzas here in the US were registered on Branch. And we're seeing the same scenario play itself out company after company since we launched. Employees at all the companies here, you can see, are on the app. And the app is being used multiple times a day by employees at places like Best Buy, Panera Bread, Starbucks, and CVS. And this adoption has led to conversations now with enterprise customers who are interested in added features and controls for their workforce. Now, we're using the same sort of bottom-up strategy tested by companies like Slack, Yammer, Dropbox to reach the enterprise, except we're tracking metrics like absences reduced, payroll costs reduced, hours saved, and employee satisfaction to sell the enterprise on a per employee per month basis on added features such as administrative controls, analytics, and integrations. In just a short amount of time, a little over a year, we've been able to work with some of the largest retailers in the US. We're currently in Target stores and rolled out at Target call centers. And the app usage is continuing to grow. We're approaching over almost 1 million hours of shift coverage that's taken place on the app, and we're growing 20% month over month. This success has led to new enterprise clients that have entered our pipeline. They're excited to work with us because, again, their employees are using this application. Now, we're a team that met at USC grad school and came together at Ideal Lab to solve this problem. We understand how to build really delightful end-user experiences, but also enterprise integrations, having built them before for companies like Nike, Disney, and Time Warner Cable. We're Branch Messenger, and we are revolutionizing the way shift workers communicate, and we'd love for you to come join us on our journey. Thank you.
Atif, can I just say that it is wonderful to see a fellow member of the Trojan family represented here on the stage. Fight on. Yeah, no jokes about UCLA. I know they're nearby. You mentioned the others that are in the market, Slack in particular, Zendo is another one. Do you really think you differentiate yourself enough? That's one question. And then you put some numbers out there for what seem like potential revenue. Can you really, what is the universe of the possible when it comes to monetizing this?
Sure. So the first question, the Slacks of the world, really, we've seen them built for use cases for the office-based knowledge worker, right? This workforce, the shift worker, doesn't care about GitHub or Dropbox integrations. They need their schedule. They need the stuff that makes them efficient at work. So we've really put workflows around specific to those use cases. The second, in terms of scaling this in terms of revenue, the way we've built it, it's a per employee per month cost basis. It's priced enough where it maximizes.
What is the price?
How much?
$1 to $3 per employee per month. So it maximizes the value that they've already made in their sort of workforce management system, their legacy systems that doesn't give them sort of these modern mobile features.
So what's the revenue so far?
So revenue so far, we started charging 4 months ago. We're at 468,000 annual recurring.
How many customers?
So the customers right now, Target stores and Target service centers, so just 2 for now. So annual ACV for these contracts are around anywhere from $1 million to $3 million annual recurring.
There's nothing else in the space right now.
No one else is sort of approaching the go-to-market the way we are.
In what way?
So there's very, top-down software, enterprise software, traditional enterprise software. Employees can't get started with the application right away. They don't get sort of this great viral adoption. So we've really built the application with the employee first in mind. I think that's important to know too. A lot of the software we see that's built top-down, it's not built for that end user. It's built for open management.
Isn't 7 Shifts, the Boost company, doing this?
So there's a lot of sort of players in the SMB scheduling space, right? Different use cases. They're
Wait, different use case. They're going after restaurants, hotels, and retail.
Yeah.
They're doing exactly the same thing you are.
So
and they've been at it for about 2 years.
Right. So with SMB.
And they have revenues.
Right. So for SMBs, their main problem that they're trying to solve is, I need to make a schedule, right? So they need to make a schedule for their workforce. We don't make the schedules. The Targets, the Best Buys, the Kohl's of the world have Kronos, or like some of these legacy systems. So we attach on to that.
I see.
Yeah.
What are the key integrations that you need to have happen to like really get where you think is like a very strong value proposition to the workers that are using it?
Yeah, I think the first one that we focus on is some workforce management integration, being able to pull the schedule in real time and push out any changes in real time. So that's the big one. The other ones we see are any sort of payroll system for updated rosters. But also, we're looking at integrations such as guest count data so they can get more predictive on their labor needs, and they know they can scale up or down their workforce based on that.
Now, you kind of skipped over the product, but it's a messenger product.
Yeah.
They all do the scheduling and all that through instant messaging.
Yeah, so it's a workflow around shift changes, right? So you can broadcast a shift, get people into the store when they're understaffed.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And how do you define an engaged user, right? And then how many engaged users do you actually have on the platform?
So right now, monthly active is around 20,000 users.
But what does it take to be a monthly active? And what's your truly ideal definition of an engaged user?
A message sent. So a message sent per month. So if someone sends a message, we count them as a monthly active. It says DAU, MAU, what we're seeing.
And is that enough, right? What's your ideal kind of vision for what an engaged user looks like?
Ideal vision is that they broadcast a shift and pick it up, because that's when they really see the value, and it's sort of that aha moment of like, wow, this was easy. So, to give you an example, the Target example, shifts, when they posted on that back wall to get somebody to cover, it would take days. Now they were getting covered under 21 minutes.
How many people in your team?
So there's 6 of us now, currently.
And so at what point do you feel like you're going to turn it profitable?
So, we're scaling up the team both on sort of the sales and operational side, but, we have 2 to 3 year projections where we're at a place where cash flow positive and profitable.
Any go-to-market partnerships that you think are important?
Yeah, so we look at obviously other people in the enterprise stack that we can kind of partner up with. We've talked to Kronos. They have a mobile product that's out there, but it's not great. It's not built with the end user in mind. So we've talked to them about doing some deals for sort of mid-market customers.
And then market size, market size, you've got, but I want that question too. Market size, so how many, if you get $1 a month per employee all the way across the board for all the restaurants, maybe not all the retails, all the restaurants, all the hotels, how big is that?
So just for retail, restaurants, and hospitality, it would be, we did
just some quick math.
Yeah, just some quick math there. So LTV, if it's $60, 60 times 45, about $4 billion for restaurant, retail, hospitality.
$4 billion per year total.
Total, that's a 5-year.
Yeah.
LTV.
Where are you in your fundraise?
So we raised a seed round late last year for 2.7, and now we're raising a Series A for $5 million.
Valuation?
20 posts.
Okay. Super. Well done.
All right,
Great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Wait, how much had gone in?
Okay, up next
have
we
you
have
raised?
Nagi Prasad from Neva.ai, and he has pitched previously, correct? Yes. So are you giving us an update? And won. So we have a winner up here. So are you giving us an update, or are you?
Yeah.
Again?
I mean, no, it's not an update. I'm with a different company. Previously I pitched Deep Forest. It exited. The investors made good money, 3x in 6 months, I think.
Oh my goodness. Well, so we have a previous winner up here.
All right.
Neva.ai.
This is like a returning Jeopardy champion.
Where's Watson?
My celebrity crush, Elizabeth Warren.
What did he say?
Elizabeth Warren.
Oh, nice.
All right, off.
Okay, so Neva. So we use artificial intelligence techniques to automate.
Lift it up closer.
IT service management. So, there's another slide inserted. Today, if you see IT service management, it's broken. Systems keep getting complicated. Customers' expectations keep getting escalated. And the support agents, they just are not able to keep up. So if an agent picks up a call today to resolve an incident, it's $15 is the average. At Neva, we believe that we can actually use AI techniques to reduce that down to 10 cents. And a lot has happened. There's a lot of developments that are happening in artificial intelligence and that have happened actually in the past 2 decades. They were happening all along, just that nobody realized. But suddenly there is now a new awakening. And this market, ITSM automation market, is estimated to be $2 billion per year. And there is a larger encompassing enterprise services market that's about $8 billion a year. So the Neva solution, right? We take a very bottom-up approach. It's a very domain-centric approach. We didn't start by building a platform and then saying we're going to fit it to this domain or that domain, right? We started with ITSM, and in that there are 3 roles. There is a requester, there is a fulfiller, and there is a manager. There is an agent that a requester can converse with. It's a virtual agent. You can ask questions. You can all do this in natural language. Submit incidents, order goods, any kind of goods and services. You can order a laptop or whatever else it is that you want to order, but all using the virtual agent. There are things that actually go through to the human agent if an agent is not able to, if a virtual agent is not able to deflect that issue. And at that time, Neva actually has embedded within the workflow of the service agent. We have actually widgets, intelligent widgets that actually make the agent, the human agent, faster, more efficient. So that's what we call fulfiller assistant. And for a manager, something broke there. Oh, sorry about that. For a manager, we have a predictive dashboard. And that gives capability for a manager to proactively take actions. Now just look at a few screenshots. These are not, these are actually the real product screenshots. This is an agent built within Slack. And this talks to our conversational APIs. And behind the conversational APIs is a lot of AI happening, NLP, semantic processing, named entity extraction, all those kinds of things happening there. And this actually directly interacts with the service requester and tries to resolve the issue. And in a good number of cases, it resolves it. And if it doesn't, it passes it on, hands it off to a human agent. And this is a fulfiller assistant. That's the little widget that's sitting in there, which says Neva Suggest. This is embedded within ServiceNow, which is an incident management system. Right? So it's within the workflow of the service agent. And this actually suggests things like related incidents, experts, knowledge, related knowledge, that kind of stuff. So it makes the agent an expert agent, basically. Right? For a manager, there are lots of things like change risk assessment, what kinds of issues are likely going to escalate, auto reassign issues. There are a lot of predictive analytics. And so just like the agent is built on our conversational APIs, Suggest is built on our Suggest APIs, the dashboard is built on our Predict APIs. So in terms of the team, this team was very deliberately composed together to look the way it is now. We have 15 people. My co-founder, Dan Turchin, comes from ServiceNow and BMC Remedy. A lot of experience doing startups, and he was an early executive on these ITSM companies. And I have a PhD in artificial intelligence. I've done a number of different companies using machine learning, AI kinds of techniques. The last one was Deep Forest. Shu Miao, he has a PhD from University of Washington, did a very interesting work at LinkedIn, Microsoft Research. And Baiji has built petabyte scale data warehouses and data pipelines many times over, the last one being Deep Forest. And we have 11 other people. Thank you.
So do you compete against or partner with ServiceNow?
We partner with ServiceNow. ServiceNow is the transaction system. We integrate into ServiceNow.
And would they not offer this to their customers as well?
Yeah. So in terms of competition, the transaction systems are a competition. That's for every startup, there's always, when you sit on top of an ecosystem, the ecosystem is a potential competition. So you will have to figure out whether a startup, with its focus and velocity, can actually, this building an AI is a big enough problem, and it's different than building a transaction system. That doing it separately as a different company, we believe gives us.
This is pretty exciting that you can do this. But if I'm a potential customer, I'm going to wait until your AI is really good, because otherwise as a customer, I'm going through a cycle, and I realize that they're just going to take me back through, and then they bring me back up to the top. I've had customer service like that, and so getting those first customers is really going to be a challenge.
And so he's got to give a break to the first ones. And I mean, it's obvious, and you get in early and you get the opportunity, and you can build and develop with it. So that'll be, I'm actually invested.
The one that rolled out last month as a customer. We have a few customers. Actually, it turns out this need is so acute.
I see. So McDonald's, they're individual customers that call in with complaints or whatever. It's not that big a deal for them. But I mean, if you're replacing like a whole IT, our guy Gil is going to be really bummed out if you can actually do that.
No, what you're going to do is you're going to replace some of the people. And first you're going to enable them. You're going to automate them. So you'll pull down. I'm invested in a startup that is blowing up how call centers operate. And the market is unbelievable. And if you get a certain percentage of what you save, and a firm is spending $5 billion, as some are, on their call centers, and you save 10%, or actually you could save 90%, we think, over time, but over time. But this is just a slightly different field, so you're not going to collide, I don't think. And I think the field is big enough that the potential here is actually very considerable. If you go back, can you go back in the slides, because it's important, I think, to understand, go back to where you were, where it showed the different elements, the actual person on the phone or on the end of a text message, then the customer, the person on the phone, and the manager. And you're going to start, I think, if we have this right, by first enabling the fulfiller. Absolutely. Then you start to replace the fulfiller as the machine learns from each of these, as you get 1 million experiences.
Absolutely.
And then you do away with almost all the fulfillers, and you just have a handful of managers. And you have saved firms massive amounts of money if you get the contract right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Can
in
you?
Fact, we don't lead in with the virtual agent. We lead in with other. And in fact, McDonald's is not virtual agent.
It feels a little like cruise automation felt when the guy took me for a ride, and then we almost crashed. Because it was a self-driving car, but there was just that inkling that down the road, this thing is going to be kind of interesting, because we're going to all be in self-driving cars. I get there, and I get that there's some consumer support groups that are not that worried about their, serving their customer that well, like McDonald's. I don't think they care a lot about serving the customer the hamburger, but I don't think they care that much about.
This is the franchises, right?
It's for the franchise.
Inside, yeah.
Right.
And this does better.
They're very, very good.
Yeah, that's, yeah.
But it doesn't start with virtual agent. It starts with actually the other ones.
So what are the specific use cases that the customers that are using the platform are seeing the most value in today?
So one at McDonald's is they automatically assign as incidents come in to different groups. And today, when humans do it, it's very, very error prone. They automatically route those. And the next one they want to try out is a fulfiller system.
But what's the error rate on that first use case at this point?
There is an answer and there is a real sound theoretical answer to that. The error rate right now we see is 92%. I mean, 92% accuracy.
Okay.
Right? But then we
And what was it historically?
Recall and like, I mean, if you play with recall versus accuracy, it's going to come down. And like, so it's an ongoing process. The whole thing is being tuned. It's been about 3 weeks since it.
How much money's gone into the company?
We raised so far 2.5 million in seed. We are in early stages of talking about Series A.
So how much are you raising for Series A?
Still figuring it out.
Okay, last question.
What, this is a question we can easily verify in a second. Two-part question. One, why did you sell your last company in 6 months? And what were the dynamics around it? And then secondly, what do you think your investors would say is your biggest weakness as a CEO?
A good point. Actually, I mean, one sells companies for lots of different reasons, and I can talk about it 6 months after the Moneyball.
Okay.
2 years after we raised it.
Yeah.
And it wasn't an accu-hire.
Okay.
I wish there was a 2.5 return for accu-hire.
I'd follow that up with, do you have any baggage from the old companies? You're like this serial entrepreneur. How do I know you're going to be with this company for more than a year? Uh-oh, that was nervous laughter. Hey, you had me until then.
So this is an interesting story. When I graduated from with a PhD in AI, I couldn't get a job. So I couldn't get a job in Silicon Valley because people said it was all theoretical. So I went to Chicago. Thank God for Accenture. Somebody from Accenture is sitting there. They at least understood that AI was worth it. Right? Now everybody wants AI. I would do this for free.
You write that down. I'll do it for free. All right, I'm in.
CEO salary, no use funds.
Free. Free's good.
It's good.
So yeah.
So are you obsessed with this, or you obsessed with AI as it can be applied to multiple things?
Best AI is AI that takes a very specific domain point of view. There are lots of very generic platforms, and I don't mean to be critical. There are big companies putting a lot of money into that. They just become big retrofit projects. We are not a retrofit project. We are out-of-the-box solution. There will be a certain amount of getting data in and tuning the models, but we are not starting with let's integrate with ServiceNow in a new.
Wait, one more question. There are a bunch of people out there that are IT service providers.
Yes.
What's to keep them from just, doing it themselves or pulling in some AI or slowly saying, hey, this question seems to be repeated an awful lot. Maybe we should just automate that.
And they have a large data set.
Yeah. So when are you talking about transactional systems, people like ServiceNow?
Where people are doing it, but they're saying this question repeats every time, so let's automate it.
There is a certain amount of robotic process automation vendors also there, and also companies like ServiceNow which have transactional systems. It's just a question of this is a big, complicated problem.
Yep.
Who's going to do it quicker? Right?
Okay, we are sadly out of time. That said, do you guys want to have a moment to talk? And you are allowed to bring them back up to ask a few questions if you need to. So
okay,
deliberate
we'll deliberate.
Decide if you need to bring people back up. Okay.
Are they going to turn our mics off?
Okay.
All right.
I think.
While they're
Good job, everybody.
Okay.
Can you turn off?
Yeah. While they deliberate, for those of you who've recently joined us, I'd like to remind you that these entrepreneurs, if open to love, could win $100,000 on the spot, or up to $1 million if any of you guys want to invest. If you would like to invest, please email moneyball@montgomerysummit.com. There should be instructions, I believe, on the screen, or just email moneyball@Montgomery Summit. So, how's everybody doing today? This is a good time to grab a drink. Does anyone have any good jokes? Jamie? No. Never mind. It was a horrible idea. So, what are you guys thinking? Who's thinking Armoire? Yeah, I know. Okay, who is thinking Branch Messenger? Okay. And who's thinking Neva.ai? It's pretty equal. I think we need to do that again. Okay, who's thinking Armoire? Okay, yeah, be louder. Okay. Who's thinking Branch Messenger? And who's thinking Neva.ai? This is like, I'm not feeling like you guys are being incredibly opinionated today. So who watches The Bachelor? Is anyone watching right now? Because Women Tell All was like on Monday, and it was fantastic. Oh, good, we have someone back here. Who do you want to win? Raven. Okay, cool. Any other? Oh, who do you want to win? Corinne? She got kicked off like weeks ago. So, how are the judges feeling? They're still deliberating. This is very serious. So, I think that you guys should all grab drinks. That's what should happen right now. Actually, I'm going to thank our sponsors. This is a good time. Okay, so the sponsors of the Moneyball panel, I'd like to thank March Capital and Pritzker Group Venture Capital. Thank you so much for sponsoring this amazing competition. I mean, it gives great entrepreneurs access to capital and good, very quality capital. Thanks also to the sponsors Macquarie, Accenture, Signal Hill, EY, and thank you to the Montgomery Summit team, Catherine Kaleha, I'm sure I butchered that. Oh no, it's Catherine Kaleha, Carmen, Georgia Mann, and Shannon Irani. Thank you guys so much. And everyone knows after Moneyball, you should head over to the evening reception because the festivities will continue. I see you're all having a beer, a wine. This is great. I'm going to let you talk amongst yourselves. This is a networking conference, so meet a couple people. Okay, this is getting dicey. We need all three of the contestants to come up here and answer a couple questions because the judges just cannot decide. So come on up. Who will win the final rose tonight? Okay, judges.
Okay, Atif. Fellow Trojan.
Are we on?
Is it really true that you moved the headquarters of your firm from Los Angeles to Minneapolis?
Yeah, and we heard the weather was really good there, so we decided.
Was there some compelling logic here that we're missing?
Yeah, so for us, there was a lot of traction with enterprise retailers that were located out there, Target specifically, Best Buy, Kohl's. So we wanted to stay really close to the customer as we're learning how to sell into them, so it made sense.
How much of your team moved out?
All of us. So it was a core team of 4. We're all out there, and then we just hired 2 more.
They really all went with you? They followed you? I mean, there aren't some that have their fingernails on the tarmac all the way from here to there?
Yeah, no, we're all out there moving fast. I think, being out there, we can move quickly, especially at this stage. So it's been working out well.
How much have you spent on sales and marketing? How you classify that?
So for sales and marketing, not a lot. We do some paid spend on social ads because we can target demographic information, where they work. So we do tests, and that's kind of how we, we could seed an initial location, that first employee at a location for about between like $1, $1.50, right? And then we grow that. And so if we have key enterprise accounts we're moving forward, so we can seed those accounts and show more traction to help us move them down the funnel.
Yeah, okay.
Why do you care about this? I mean, you're going to make shift workers a little happier. Why do you care?
We really, as a team, I think we're just very oriented at democratizing technology to everyone. And so with us, it's really bringing technology to a cohort that hasn't really had a lot of good tools at their disposal. And so, we're really passionate about this. We get emails all the time. We got one this week from a single mom at Narrow Bread who had to take her sick child in, and now she was able to post a shift, get it covered, but more importantly, she can make up for lost wages. So it's stuff like that. We know we're on something that's big.
And what's the most difficult feedback you've ever been given?
Difficult feedback that we've been getting is probably trying to stay away from building one-offs for these enterprises.
I said you, not the company.
Myself, staying focused on sort of the task at hand and really being laser focused on our mission. I think it's easy to get distracted, with a lot of things. Small team too, so we're managing a lot. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions?
Yes, for the others.
Yes, for the others, yeah. Mm-hmm. So can I get an answer to the second part of my question? What would your investors say is your biggest weakness as a CEO?
The way I view it, whether CEO, employee, everybody has a tendency. If I have 1 hour of free time, what do you spend it on? I would spend it on tech and product, right? So eventually, I do see that when it becomes much more operational and sales and marketing and operational, I would say I have to take a different role. Mm-hmm.
And would your investors say that's your biggest weakness too, or just CEO?
Maybe.
Okay.
They might say that.
Okay.
So what will you look for when you hire a head of sales and marketing for your organization?
I think actually some of the most interesting people that we talk to, I look for somebody who's a really good listener. I've read all these books about sales. It's all about you see a golf picture and then you talk about golf kind of a thing. I think the one that really actually attracts me is somebody who's a really good listener, because this is still cutting edge and you really want to apply your solution to a problem that we are figuring out.
So the thing I've run into with entrepreneurs that have done it before and succeeded are they think they're starting from a higher base when they start over, and they aren't taking out the trash and all that. And they don't necessarily care as much about this one as they did around that first one, because that was like closer to the root of their brain.
Yeah.
So how do you deal with this? Why do you care about this? Why are you doing it?
Oh, this one?
Yeah.
I did a PhD in this whole thing. and people say it was a useless PhD, including my dad. So, it's being really applied, right? I could have gone the academia route. I actually did something like 40 publications, right? I think we can change the world.
Do you want to write more publications?
No, I've not published since for about 15 years. I could, I'm not interested.
I think part of the question, though, is how does this startup compare to the experience of your first one?
Oh, I see. The first one was very interesting too, but I think this is much more core to some of the things I have trained for. Right? And first one was actually it's a real-time mobile bid exchange. There was a lot of data processing and things like that. So again, I've been an advisor or a founder of multiple startups that actually use AI or machine learning techniques to solve very specific problems. So I'm an advisor to another few companies that do this.
Did you have a question?
Nagi, changing the world is not a bad objective, by the way.
Yeah.
It's okay to have the mic close to your mouth. When you say that, don't be bashful. Congratulations. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. What are your final questions for Armoire?
Let me get into this a little bit more with you if I could. So the customers select four from the menu that you provide to them, and the customer can swap items at any time, but the beta service costs $149 a month. So if you swap it more, do you pay more?
You don't, and the reason is, and this is part of the strength of who we are as a team, when we launched the product, we had a 2-week return window where we said we will refresh it every 2 weeks, you don't have to, because we were worried about constraining costs. And then we decided we would run a test, like we run a test about everything else, and we switched one of our geographies to unlimited returns, and the time the customers held onto the package expanded. So actually, by not giving her a pushed opportunity to swap, we're going from the Blockbuster model to the Netflix model.
That's a pretty good model, actually.
Thanks. I think so too.
Reed Hastings did reasonably well with that.
What's your biggest cost? You have 39% gross margins, I think, or 38.
Yep.
What's the biggest cost?
So the major cost drivers are shipping,
Yep.
dry cleaning.
What percent is shipping?
Labor. They're actually almost equal today, but I'll tell you, and depreciation, which is how we factor in the inventory costs into the OpEx costs. So the things that will change over time is that shipping will come down because you get no scale from shipping right now. Dry cleaning will come down less so, and inventory will come down to some extent. So in the scaled state, shipping will continue to be the biggest cost, and then inventory, dry cleaning, and labor.
Interesting. And in labor, how are those employees structured? Are they full-time employees of the company? Do you outsource it? Are they?
They're hourly employees, and actually right now we're situated next to a university, and we hire amazing women who are our hourly employees.
Interesting. What payback when you start doing digital acquisition or attributable acquisition? What payback periods are you going to target?
So the customer acquisition cost that we built the model around is $65, but with us, when we think about payback, it's on the customer as well as the item. So the ROI on the item, the return period is 120 days. So with the turns that we're seeing right now, that's 6 turns. The item we expect to live through 15 turns, so the remaining 9 are profitable. The customer acquisition cost is $65. We're recovering essentially in the first month.
Okay, again, I don't understand the customer.
I'm going to explain
But-
the customer to you.
But I tried Trunk Club, and all these clothes came, and I went, what do I do now?
So I think it's great you brought that up.
Yeah,
You clearly didn't wear any Trunk Club
and I was
clothes.
thinking, I don't know how to ship these back. I'm scared. I'm going, oh my God, it's going to be another, 30 things next month. I wear the same suit all week.
I actually...
I don't.
Sorry, by the way. It's like
Is this where the dry cleaning quick question came from?
No. Okay. So it is a serious question about the customer. Isn't that a big hassle?
Honestly, I feel like this question is a little bit of a layup for me because I'll turn it back to you.
Okay.
If you could have just put on those clothes and worn them and there's no decision-making process that has to go on because they're already there and there's no extra kind of like, oh, should I keep this? Is it really worth it? Would you have worn them?
I am clearly not your customer. I wear the exact same thing every single day.
So the argument that I would make that our customers make back to us is that because they're already there and there's no incremental decision, there's such a low risk barrier to just putting it on and wearing it out. And when they decide to buy it from us, it's like, oh, I've worn this 4 or 5 times. It's really great. I have, positive accolades from X, Y, and Z person in my community. And then they buy it, which we actually think is the sustainable way to buy not only clothes, but other things as well. We're taking away the impulse purchase.
Now, I want to know about your ambition here.
Yes.
Why are you doing this? And then what's your goal with this company? What do you think you are going to be? Project out 20 years or 5 years or whatever. You tell me how many years.
Sure.
And what's it going to look like, and what are you going to do with it? Are you going to sell it? Are you going to take it public? What are you going to do with it?
So on the first part of the question, why do we do this? So remember we told you that the average boss lady will spend 219 hours shopping? What happens if you turn that into 219 minutes? I think it's actually super inspiring to everyone in here to imagine what she would do with that time back. Because these women are already incredible, and if you give them a little time back, they're gonna do amazing things. So that's why I do it, and it's so core to who we are that that's like the definitive North Star, and I can answer that question super easily. On the second piece, where do we think we're going? Again, we sincerely believe that the collaborative consumption and the sharing economy is just coming down the pipe. And so eventually, rented clothes will be a behavior that all women, and potentially men, maybe not you, but engage in, and somebody's gonna own part of the space, and why not us? I think we have all the pieces as a team to put it together, so it's gonna be us.
It's going to be you, but the second part of my question was 5 years, 20 years. What are you going to do with this, and what's the time frame?
Last question.
It's my last one.
So we're gonna grow massive.
Have a beer.
In LA, I don't have to tell you guys.
This is your money, right? Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, this is my money. Women's retail is a massive industry, and I'm going to own a significant portion of it. Thank you.
There you go.
Did we get the 5-year, 20-year thing? The 5-year, 20-year
I'm
thing.
going to own a significant percentage of it.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
I think we need to confer again.
More minutes. Okay. They need a few more minutes. It's not so simple, turns out, to choose a company out of these three. They're all at different stages and doing completely different things. Okay, well, everyone meet your neighbor. Have you guys all met each other? Meet your neighbor. Talk about your celebrity crush. And then we'll find out who wins the final rose. Okay, the judges have deliberated.
No, it take long.
And,
We will take longer, Jamie.
This is serious business.
How do you want to do it?
okay,
I got it.
and dun dun dun.
Third place?
This
You're
is
going to say third place?
the final rose. Okay, judges, who is it?
All right. Neva.ai, please come to the stage. I want to give you this rose. And congratulations, you are the winner.
Thank you.
But hang on. Like all good TV, there's a twist. I'm going to need this back. I'm going to need this back, and then you can have that. Armoire, please come to the stage. We have a 2/3 and 1/3 award.
Congratulations. Well done.
That was perfect.
Congratulations to you.
Oh, it made
Very
me
well
cry.
done. Congratulations. Great work.
Jamie, this is called a
You did very well.
polyamorous relationship.
Impressive.
That's what it's called. It's a new term.
Okay, great. Well, congratulations to Neva.ai and Armoire, who have both won a portion of the rose, the final rose. I've never seen this happen before on reality television. It's crazy. Can we have applause for our incredible, incredible judges? I mean, we had a general up here.